Hey, what's up, guys? We need to talk about the Skirk situation. Now, Skirk was one of the characters that I was looking forward to because she's going to be well, I thought she was going to be a quantum unit. Like everything in her cutscenes and the way she plays, I thought she was going to be a quantum unit. I think Genshin Impact dropped a big ball, in missing out the opportunity of just naming the new element quantum rather than to play it off like they have elemental powers, but they're also going to have this little gimmick mechanic that is going to be representing quantum. I think Genshin Impact dropped the ball ridiculously bad in that direction. Honestly to God, I think Genshin Impact should have done better than that. But there's a lot of Kuro tourists that come around that don't play Genshin Impact that are complaining that Skirk is gonna be restrictive. Like, bro, I don't understand if these content creators don't look in the mirror and realize that, wait a minute, Zani is restrictive because Zani can only be played with Phoebe and Spectral Rover. They're not looking in the mirror and realizing that the other DPS that's coming out is gonna be only best in slot with the Rover and the other new character that's coming out as well. They're not seeing that the same thing that they're complaining about, which is in Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact, and the Sun Zero, is the same thing that's happening in their game. It's just that they're not highlighting it, or they're not covering it, or they're trying to defend their company. While if we do it, is some kind of problem. Now, I get it. Skirk being like restrictive, it's is a problem, but it's not a big deal. It's not like we don't have characters before that are restrictive in some kind of way. Cheverus, it plays that she's restricted to overload teams, but she actually makes overload teams very strong. And I think that this is similar to the case with Skirk. Skirk is restricted to freeze teams, but with this unit in particular, which is their blessing slot support, Escoffier, she is going to make her ridiculously strong because there's something in her kit that if there's one, two, three, four Hydro and Carry units in the team, you can get up to the max 55% defense shred, I think, and that is cryo resistance, cryo res, Hydro res, and cryo res of any opponent. It will cut it down by 55%. That is something that is ridiculously strong. So I think if Skirk is restricted to this team, having this unit will make her team last a pretty long time in terms of being strong. I think it does make up for it that this character is very strong. And there'll be robots coming and talking about power creep and yada yada yada, but it is what it is. I am upset, yes, that she's not quantum, as I said. I think they dropped a huge ball in that. But her design is cool, but she should have been quantum. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pull for the character. That's the thing that I'm worried about. Even for Escoffier. I would love to pull for Escoffier, but like I am so dry in terms of pulls right now. And I think I'm so high in the last time I pulled a 5 star was all the way back here in Versa. So that's around 11, so around 50. I am at soft pity right now, so I might get the character. There are also this thing about weapons. I don't know if I may want to get Mavika's weapon because I missed out on Mavika's weapon and I accidentally got Seat Lolly's weapon even though I don't have Seat Lolly. I haven't checked the weapons on here. Like if there's something that I would want, I need to check that in the future. But Honestly, really and truly, I think if you're picking up Skirk and if you're picking up Escoffier, if you're picking up Skirk, you have to pick up Escoffier. And that's just how it is. I don't know when Escoffier is gonna get rerun. That's another issue. But I think that team with Escoffier and Skirk is gonna be very, very strong and it's gonna last you a very long time. So I don't think I understand why the problem is that it's gonna be only good for freeze teams and Skirk is not gonna be good for other teams. I don't know if that's gonna be the case, but I think this is gonna be a case that like Skirk is gonna be very strong if you play her a different way, but she's not putting out her max potential if you're not running her in like a team with her, Escoffier, and two Hydro, like say a Farina, and let's say somebody that will heal enough for Farina, like a Barbara or something like that. If you're not running a team like that, then you're gonna lose out a lot of damage, and there comes FOMO and stuff like that. So, hmm, I'm looking forward to this unit Skirk, as I said, but I don't think I'll be able to pick her up because I am low on resources in terms of polls. And I'm pretty content with the teams that I have right now. I already have a freeze team with Riots I that I haven't built yet. I'm currently working on the Eula team and the Versa team for endgame and stuff like that. Because I've been all over the place when it comes down to endgame. I play this game casually, honestly, and I'll be able to go very far in the Spiral Abyss and Imaginary Interior. So, Theater, when some people talk about the endgame in Genshin Impact being hard, it's not necessarily hard. You can complete it with relative ease. And to tie that in, that's one of the reasons why I was worried about Honkai Star Endgame as well. And I think many people have complaints about Honkai Star Endgame because it is a little bit more challenging than it was in Genshin Impact, and I think many people aren't really used to that fact. And you have to build your team at a much higher level in Honkai Star in order to clear endgame, compared to Genshin Impact, where you can just build your team just to a decent amount and you'll be able to clear endgame. So it's different strokes for different people. So in my opinion, Skirk, I would love to pull Skirk. I would absolutely love to pull Skirk. I would absolutely love to pull Escoffier, but it's just a situation where I just don't have the free to play pulls for her right now, and that's mostly because I've been busy for the past few days covering this drama with the cool bot and stuff like that, and it's just like a little bit draining. Because the thing that I don't necessarily like about these cool defenders is that the things that they complain about in other games that they're not playing, the Genshin Impact, the Honkai Star Rail, the Zenithal Zero, are things that are happening in their game. And if anybody call them about it and say that, yo, these things that you're talking about, they're in Withering Waves, there will be a ton of hate coming to that a content creator, and it's just unfortunate, but it is what it is. So it's just like a normal video. I don't want to make all my videos about drama. I've just been covering that a little bit, and unfortunately, I end up in a situation where I have not even used up my resins in some of the games in Genshin Impact. I'm still playing a little bit of the story in Zenith Zero. I have to finish up the last piece. I have to finish up the last piece in Honkai Star Rail, and I still I haven't finished the last little story quest that come up for Escoffier. I don't have much to do in Genshin Impact. I'm pretty much up to date. Is Withering Waves the problem that I'm a little bit behind on? I'm still at that new area that you can fly in and stuff like that. But I'm trying to catch back. I'm trying to like move on from like building my units as like just a casual player that plays on. I'm gonna go into the hardcore, go into the end game in all of these games. So I have a better understanding of what I can talk about in all these gacha games, all these main gacha games. Because there was an issue a time that somebody, I'm not saying who, made it so that you have to play through the entire game in order to make judgment on if a game is going good and if a game is going bad. And yes, although there are some good takes in the gacha community, there are some very, very, very bad takes, and a lot of takes that are made with just clear hypocrisy and bias in mind, and they're just they'll have these things happen in their game, and they'll be completely okay with it and say that, oh, the winner and ways deserve one mess up. I think that's okay, and it's not a big deal. And if these same things happen in Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact, or Winning Way, or Zenith Zone Zero, it's the end of the world, and it's just unfortunate. That's all I have to say, man. It is what it is. There's a lot of things that I have to cover, so I'll get back to it.